The Animals That Wanted to Sing, Part 1. Wherever you travel in Wales, you will hear fine music, for Wales is famous for singing. Where else in the world can you find men and women who work hard all day in mines or factories, and who are happy to spend their evenings singing together or playing instruments, and their Sundays singing in the church? So, it's not surprising that many of their oldest stories are about music. One evening, many years ago, so long ago that the date has been forgotten, an old donkey called Neddy was standing in the field near the watermill in the Sene Valley. 3 times a week, he pulled the miller's cart to the market or to the nearby farms. The older he grew, the longer it took him to do his work, and that evening he heard the miller saying to his wife, "Our donkey is getting old. Our donkey is getting too old. We'll have to sell him, though I don't suppose we'll get much money for his skin. Anyhow, he won't have to be fed if we get rid of him, and that will save us some money." Neddy was very sad for a while. Then he said to himself, "I'm not useless yet. I still have a fine, strong voice. Whoever hears it will certainly employ me as a singer. I'll go to Brecon and offer to sing in the cathedral." He sang "Hee-ho" once or twice to be sure that his voice really was beautiful. Then he set out for the main road. He hadn't gone far along the road when he met an old dog sitting unhappily on the shepherd's doorstep. Ned stopped and asked the dog why he was looking sad. You'd be sad if you knew you weren't needed anymore," said the dog. "I can no longer run fast enough to keep the sheep together and stop them from wandering. So my master says I'm useless. He's driven me out of the house." "That's exactly what has happened to me," said Neddy. "But I can sing very well, so I'm on my way to Brecon, where I hope to sing in the cathedral." "What an excellent idea," said the old dog, getting up and wagging his tail. "Have you heard my love song to the moon? I sang for nearly an hour last night until a jealous person threw a pair of old boots at me. Let me come with you." "With pleasure," replied Nettie. "What excellent songs we shall be able to sing together." The two of them hadn't gone very far along the road when they met a cat sitting sadly on a wall. "What's the matter with you?" they asked. I wanna die, answered the cat. I'm too old to catch mice, and now I've been thrown out of my home. What for? Asked the dog. I stole a small piece of cold mutton off the kitchen table. Cheer up, said Neddy. We haven't any homes either, but we're gonna to break in. We're gonna to break in order to sing in the cathedral. You've got a fine high voice. Why don't you join us in case they need you? That's an excellent idea, said the cat, jumping down from the wall. The three of them hadn't gone very far when they met a cock. The cock was on a farm gate, crowing as loudly as he could. Why are you crowing at this time of the evening? Asked Neddy. The proper time for your song is at sunrise. I've just heard the farmer's wife say that I am to be put in a pot tomorrow in case she needs soup for her guests. So I'm copying the habit of my cousin, the swan. Since I can't avoid, since I can't avoid being killed, I'm singing one last song before my neck is wrung. You're not gonna stay here till someone comes and wrings your neck, are you? Said the dog. No, no, added Neddy. You mustn't become a soup for somebody else's lunch. You are the king of singers. Nobody can deny that. Join us, and we'll be a splendid group. We're on our way to Brecon in order to sing in the cathedral. The four of them hadn't gone very far when it began to grow dark. They were marching close behind one another so as to keep together through the thick forest that used to grow right up to the edge of the town of Brecon in those days. Stop whenever you find a suitable place for us to rest till morning, called Neddy from the back to the cat. The cat had been made leader because he could see better than anyone else in the dark. I think this tall fire tree is as good as anywhere else, said the cat. Let's send the cock up to the tree top first, said the dog. He may be able to see somewhere better from there. The animals that wanted to sing, Part 2. The cock flew up to the top of the fire tree in order to look for a better place for them to sleep. The others got the cat to climb halfway up so that he could send the cock's information down to them. He could see a long distance on all sides from the top of the tree. I can see the lights of houses, said the cock. One of them is quite near. The cat gave this information to the others, and Neddy decided they should all go there in order to look for food. They waited for the cock and the cat to join them, and soon all four of them were standing in the garden of a little house. The ground floor was a kind of store with big wooden doors. They could see a light upstairs and could hear men's voices, but the window was too high for them to see inside. I can show you how to reach the window, said the dog. I stand on Ned's neck, the cat can stand on me, and the cock can stand on top and tell us what he can see. And please don't make a noise. You'd better whisper, said the cat to the cock, in case they hear us. I'll do my best, answered the cock, but I'm not very good at whispering. The 5 men who lived in this cottage in the forest were thieves and robbers, and at that very moment they were about to enjoy a fine meal. Outside the window, the animals were trying to balance unsteadily on top of one another. Don't dig your claws in my shoulders, whispered the dog to the cat. I can't help it, said the cat. The cock keeps tickling my nose with his tail feathers. Hurry up, hurry up and tell us what you can see, said Neddy. I'm getting tired. I'm getting, I'm getting tired. There are some men having a wonderful feast, the cook whispered. I can see a great saucepan of boiled maize with batter on it. He was so excited he almost ground. He almost growled. Maize, said the cat. What's the good of that to me? Can you see anything else? Well, there is also a huge baked fish. That's much better, said the cat, purring loudly and digging his claws in the dog's shoulder again. Fish, said the donkey. Maize, what's good? What's the goods of fish and maize to me? What else is there? Well, there is also a huge dish of cabbage and carrots and a great pile of lettuce and other sorts of salad. That's much better, said Nettie. Salad, said the hungry dog. Cabbage? I can't eat. I can't eat that kind of food. Is there nothing else? Well, right in the center of the table is the biggest shoulder of mutton I never ever seen. I have never, I have ever seen. Well, right in the center of the table is the biggest shoulder of mutton I have ever seen. That's much better, said the dog. Now, can you tell us how to get those men to share their feast with us? Let's sing to them. They are sure to reward us for such beautiful music. So the 4 of them began to sing as loudly as they could. The donkey brayed, the dog barked and howled, the cat mewed, and the cock crowed. The noise woke up half the citizens of Brecon. The thieves were frightened by the noise and covered their ears with their hands. They dropped their knives and forks, spilled their glasses of wine, and fell over the furniture in their hurry to escape from the room. The cock's feathers made the cat sneeze so hard that the poor bird slipped off his back and fell through the window with a loud crash. The frightened, the frightened men, the frightened men almost fell down to the wooden stairs ran away into the forest as fast as they could and hid themselves among the bushes. The animals went upstairs at once and soon emptied all the plates and dishes on the table. They had so much to eat that they almost fell asleep at the table. At last the donkey made a bed of straw for himself in the garden. The dog lay down by the doorstep. The cat scratched a hole in the warm ashes of the fire and curled himself up like a ball. And the cock sat on the roof near the chimney so as to keep warm. The thieves lay hidden in the wood, waiting for an attack that never came. There was no light in the house. Everything was quiet. The chief of the robbers sent someone back to see if the visitors had vanished. This man crept into the kitchen and got a candle out of a drawer. He thought he saw two sparks in the fire and bent down in order to light the candle from them. The sparks were the cat's eyes shining in the dark. When the cat saw the thief panting over the fire, he jumped up, spitting and snarling, and scratched his face. The thief dropped the candle and rushed out of the house. He fell over the sleeping dog. He fell over the sleeping dog. He once He at once snarled at him and bit his ankle. The noise woke up Neddy. The donkey brayed loudly and kicked out in all directions with his hind legs. The man was knocked into the muddy river. He crawled out, wet through and covered with mud. As he ran out of the garden, the cock on the roof spread his wings and crowed, "Cock, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo," at the top of his voice. "Can we go back now?" asked the chief as the man arrived out of breath. "No, no, it's horrible," said the frightened man. "In the kitchen a devil jumped on me out of the fire and tore my face with its claws. Another devil at the door bit my ankle. A huge monster in the garden beat me with a club and knocked me into a muddy river. As I escaped, a little devil with wings was shouting from the roof, 'Drop him in the soup! Drop him in the soup! I'm lucky to be alive.' The robbers were not seen in that part of Wales again. The animals were so happy in the little house that they decided to live there together for the rest of their lives. If you go to Brecon, you can still see it. It's now an inn and is called the Shoulder of Mudden. The Shoulder of Mudden, to remind people of that famous meal on the day the robbers were driven away. End of the story.